So now we are going to discuss through a beautiful editorial which headlines is Pulses of the Nation is its dal. So now we will see some interesting facts about its dal. So in ancient Romans loved legumes and took their names in, and in India maa ki dal sparks similar delight. So let us begin. So the legendary Roman orator and patrician Marcus Tullius Cicero once urged people to constantly ask the question cui bono, meaning who benefits, to make sense of politics. But before we attempt to answer his question, I would like to go on a slight tangent and let you know that the patrician families that controlled the Roman Empire for hundreds of years chose family surnames that were rather down to earth, names that are relevant to the topic at hand. So Cicero was named after Caesar, Latin for chickpea. So Cicero was the name of the Caesar, which Latin word is chickpea, because one of his ancestors had a cleft at the tip of his nose that resembled a chickpea. Similarly, Fabius after fava beans, Lentulus after lentils, and Piso after peas. Yes, some of the most famous people in the Roman Empire were, it turns out, named after legumes. This is not too surprising because unlike present-day Italians, the Romans consumed more legumes in their diet than most other civilizations. Legumes, also known as pulses, are the fruits or seeds of plants that have a symbiotic relationship with a family of bacteria that can take nitrogen from the air and convert into more usable forms like ammonia in the soil, which makes the soil more fertile for the subsequent planting of grain crops like rice, wheat, or corn. So legumes have been a central pillar of human agriculture for thousands of years, grown in between harvests of stable grains to improve the soil condition and soil fertility, and are also important source of dietary protein because most of the protein is found in pulses crops. While there is a veritable cornucopia of legumes around the world, we will focus our attention on the ones most commonly used in this part of the world, like cajanus, which is tur, lens, masoor, vigna, urad and moong, phaseolus, rajma, sisar, chickpea, and chana dal. So the first three of these can be used whole or split. So the first three of the pulses can be used as a whole part, or we can use as a split part. The first three of these can be used whole or split part, which makes it easier to cook. The last two are particularly hard to cook and tend to require soaking ahead of time. So before cooking, we have to soak the seeds of phaseolus, which is rajma, and chickpea. So before cooking the food of chickpea or rajma, we have to soak the seeds for overnight for a definite time. There are other reasons to generally make it a ritual to soak and wash all legumes. One is the presence of family of chemicals called saponins, which comes from the Latin word for soap. These cause frothing when you wash them as well as when you pressure cook them. These tend to be toxic in large amounts and also tend to clog the safety valves of your pressure cooker. Another reason is the presence of phytic acid, which adversely impact the absorption of several micronutrients in the legume. Therefore, it is a good idea to not only wash them well but also discard the water in which they are soaked. So because of phytic acid, which absorb the micronutrients in the legume, after soaking the chickpea or rajma, we have to discard the water and we have to use the chickpea. So the phaseolus family also has some hard to digest carbohydrates, particularly raffinose, stachys, which ends up being digested by gut bacteria, which in turn generate carbon dioxide and cause that familiar feeling of discomfort in your tummy after a meal of rajma chawal. Okay? While the internet is awash with tons of suggestions on how to cook beans in a way that reduces flatulence, there is no scientific evidence that any of them work The good news is that if you can put up with the discomfort and eat more beans and chickpeas, you will have more healthy gut bacteria, and that has been proven to have long-term positive health implications. As a general habit, wash all split legumes and wash and soak whole legumes, beans and chickpea. Once you are done soaking, you can either pressure cook or slow cook them. Slow cooking can take several hours but will produce a better texture, while pressure cooking will save you a lot of time, but you run the risk of occasionally overcooking them. For most daily situations, pressure cooking is the practical things to do. Now, how long do you need to cook them? This can be tricky because fresh legumes cook faster than ones that have been sitting in your pantry for a while. So if you are cooking some chana from Saicero's time, a pinch of baking soda in the pressure cooker will guarantee a perfectly cooked finished product. Baking soda helps break down pectin, a molecule that makes up plant cell walls, and legumes tend to have a lot of it. Another useful trick is to add a teaspoon of oil when pressure cooking legumes. Remember our soapy saponins. A bit of oil will reduce their frothing and make it easy to clean your pressure cooker later. A common myth is that one must not add salt when cooking legumes or they will become hard. This is not true. What is true, however, that the presence of acids like tamarind, in tomatoes like oxalic acids, in tamarind. So there are many acids present in the fruits. So like tomatoes, tamarind, etc. can harden legumes during the cooking process. The absolute rock star legumes, in my opinion, is the one whose botanical name sounds like heavy metal band, like Ugna Mungo, Urad Dal. When soaked overnight and slow cooked over several hours, it produces this magically creamy texture that marketing savvy Punjabis skip fancy adjectives for and simply describe with nostalgic phrasing that every person on the planet can understand. Maki dal. Even its ubiquitous restaurant cousin, Dal Makhani cuisine, Dal Makhani gets most of its creaminess from the legume itself, not the unholy amount of butter or cream that is added to it. And if you crack open the black husk, you get white urad, which can be ground, fermented and steamed to make the dish that makes people on the other end of the subcontinent sentimental idli. Or just soak it, ground it to a paste with salt and spices and deep fry it to make medu vada. It is truly the most versatile legume in the subcontinent. So the answer to Mr. Roman Chickpea Cicero's famous question, cui bono, is rather obvious, that who eat urad dal. So this editorial is given by Krishi Ashok, is the author of Masala Lab, The Science of Indian Cooking, to be published this month.